Hello and welcome. You are about to hear from some amazing, hard-working self-starters who have taken the leap of faith to build a business of their own right here in Polk County. This is Polk Entrepreneur. Welcome to Polk Entrepreneur. Today we highlight two local Polk County entrepreneurs who have built their businesses from the ground up. As you'll see, it has been no cakewalk, but with hard work, perseverance, and utilizing the resources at their fingertips, they've built something most people only dream of. Our first entrepreneur grew up right here in Polk County and has seen firsthand how the landscape of small business for minorities has changed over the years. This is the story of Darrell Chapper and the cleaning service he built as an entrepreneur.
Well, back in the day when I was going to school, I needed some income, and my afternoon job and night job, weekend job was janitorial, where one of my school teachers owned a janitorial company at the time, and I went to work for my school teacher. I had a football scholarship at Iowa State University, and I went up there for a year. And then once I left Iowa State after that year, I signed up for the United States Marine Corps. And I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps. The last couple of years in the Marine Corps, I had a basic plan. Come out, get myself situated, get my feet on the ground, and start my own business. Got on a discharge out of the Marine Corps. I came back home and I decided, well, let me get into something that I can easily get into. I dibbed and dabbed in the food industry a lot. I was a general manager for a while, assistant manager. Did some correctional food service. So I had a lot of experience and background in the food industry. And probably around about 85, after I was still working in the food industry, I branched out and got into the cleaning business. I started my cleaning service. It was really interesting. I remember one day I said, well, I don't know everything about this industry, so just give it a long shot. So I was fumbling through the yellow pages one day, and I remember this. The first page I came to, it came up under the cleaning service headings, and there was a bunch of other cleaning services that was listed in there. But this one kind of stood out, and the name of it was Sure Cleaning. And I said, man, what the heck? I made a phone call, and a gentleman on the other line picked up and said, my name is Mark Sure. He said, what can I help you with? I said, well, I'm new to the industry. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. He said, what do you want to learn? I said, I want to know everything. He said, well, no problem. And a real nice guy, he took me up in his wing, invited me out to his house, and we spent hours talking about the cleaning industry and how to perfect your trade and your skill. And I was really, I guess he was God sent, because normally people are not that open in a competitive business like that. But he was very open, taught me a lot of things about the industry, and we became friends, and I kind of lost track of him when I moved to Georgia. So I want to give kudos out to Mark. Just so happened I got to get employed with the state of Georgia at that time, and I worked that industry, corrections, for about 5 years up there. And then I just felt like I needed a change of pace in my life, and me and my wife, we broke up, and I found a headhunter that actually found me some employment in a little town called Waxahachie, Texas. I worked out there for a while, and that didn't kind of work out. So I went to private industries, and I got on with a company out there that was kind of tailor-made for me. There was a company called Taco Cabana, and they hired me on as assistant manager right off the bat. Did pretty good. I performed well, and they liked they liked my background, and then they finally sent me up to a store in North Dallas to work on one of their training stores. So I went up there and wasn't there about 2 weeks. And one of the vice presidents came to me, VPs came to me and said, well, we got to open a situation down in South Dallas. Now I had moved from South Dallas to North Dallas, right, to be closer, right? So, well, we got a situation in South Dallas. Would you mind going back down there and being an assistant to a unit down there? I said, no problem. So I went back down to South Dallas and started being assistant down there. And then one thing led to another. They had some issues, and then I became general manager of that particular store. And started out pretty good, and felt like I was a good fit there. And the phone rang one day, and it was my mom. And she said, well, no, Mom doesn't usually call unless something's going on. And she said, well, I'm sick. I said, what do you mean you're sick? She said, well, I'm sick. I don't know how sick I am. I said, what's going on? She said, well, I went to the doctor and told him I was really sick. So I called my brother at the time, and I was just really getting in stride with the company and everything, and I told him what was going on. He said, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, I got to make a tough choice. I'm going home. And I made that decision to resign I resigned my position in about 2 weeks, and packed all my stuff up. And I told my brother I'd meet him in Florida. So the concentration was really trying to get her back on her feet and get her well and stuff. Using some of my skills in food service, I got hired at Carrabba's as one of their first grill chefs here in Lakeland. And at the time, the general manager, me and him, we kind of clicked, and I kind of told him, I said, well, this is just a stepping stone to what I really want to do in my life, at my next level. He said, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going back into the cleaning business. And he said, okay, I probably got a couple of clients for you. And he told me about a couple of clients. One was Hooters at the time, and that was both South and North Hooters. And then there was another, Harry's was opening up at the time. And so he gave me a reference, and I followed that reference and got both of those contracts at the time. And I worked them for years. They were some of the first stepping stones to for me to really developing Chapper Cleaning Service at the time, and really getting my feet under me, and really going forward in the industry as far as different parts of the industry, like the construction cleaning. I worked 2 jobs at times. I would come home during the evening after my first gig, and then I'd go do the cleaning job at night, vice versa. Depends on what days I were off. So I was always prepping to take that next level. So whatever it took for me to keep the bills paid and keep my responsibilities taken care of, that's what I had to do. It's not that, hey, you're gonna go out and you're gonna get this business and you're gonna want to work that business. No, it doesn't work that way. I mean, sometimes people get lucky, but most of the times you gotta work a second gig. My background was in sports, so I had a name in Lakeland. So I kind of felt like, well, you got a kind of name, so kind of use that as a stepping stone. Go to the people that know you, can give you some good references, and then you shoot from the hip from that. So I kind of use that kind of philosophy, okay, to market my brand, to put it out there, and then to make it work for me. It wasn't easy, but hey, you do what you take all the advantages that you can, and you use them to your advantage to give you that boost that you need out here. When you first start, you take on those responsibilities, and it becomes a 24-hour obsession with you. If you want to grow and you want to get to that next level, so your learning process and the learning curve is based on how much you put into it. And I was putting a lot of time into it. Sometimes 16, 17-hour days, and sometimes being out on the job site way past those hours that normal people would go home. So doing all that, I remember when I first, back in '99, I think QuickBooks came out. That was my administrative tool that I used to keep track of the business, write proposals, keep track on what I need to pay out invoices and stuff like that. So those are the tools that you can use and integrate into your business as you grow and learn how to manage the business on a day-to-day basis. You want to, really try to limit your expenses and all that. And my experience is that sometimes the smaller contracts, you don't make as much money. You're just trying to get by, trying to break even. And then something clicked in my mind that I might can go get a loan. So I talked to a few people, and they said, well, why don't you try Mid-Florida? And I went and I tried Mid-Florida, and it was like a little micro loan. It's about $1,800, $2,000 loan that they gave me. And that kind of got me on my feet. Bought a couple of pieces of equipment, and it kind of situated me in the right direction. And that was beginning of actually giving me a boost as far as cash and stuff like that. So I took that, I paid them back when I needed to pay them back, and that kind of springboarded me. You know, everybody needs a little help in this industry. So those little small micro loans like that really help you out. I remember when I did my first plan, I was sitting down in my little office one day. I said, well, what can I do direct marketing? And how can I do it cost effective? So I developed this list of restaurants all through the county, and I sent them out flyers of my business and a business card. That was my first direct marketing approach to business. And I got some very valuable hits from behind that. And then a lot of the things you want to do is get on a lot of the state agencies, get into their to the registrations and stuff like that. That also gives you another boost of marketing your business. You know, get on with the state and federal, local county, municipalities in those particular areas. So those marketing strategies like that always come back and help your business. In this industry, your competition is different from other industries because you're constantly challenged because other people, new people are coming in the industry that's not fully regulated yet. So the ratio between profit margin and your expense margin, you have to watch that very careful because it's based on if you're going to get a gig that you bid it out at the maximum amount that you can bid it out for, and then pay all your expenses and make a profit for it. Those gigs may not be there 2 or 3 months from now because somebody's going to come and do the opposite of what you did to get into that particular gig. And a lot of things I found out is that most people that stay in this industry have a passion for it. And the ones that don't, they didn't have a passion for it in the beginning, okay? That's just this industry. And I see that all through my 20 years of being in the businesses, that there are a lot of businesses that started out, they didn't have the passion, they didn't have the wherewithal to stay in and stick it out. And I had a conference with the Central Florida Business Diversity Council last week. We have our monthly meetings. And this guy's name is Alan Alford. He's a big-time guy with Geico. And his motto is that you never give up. And that's been one of my mottos, never give up. If you start it, you put the passion into it, stick with it to the end. You have to be in this industry to learn about 2 to 3 years to really try to start getting profitable. You got to go through those up and down times, and by that 3rd year, you really should be hitting your mark as far as getting all your marketing, your marketing material together, the point of sales, the way you want to go, and the areas that you want to potentially challenge and all that. So that starts to become more apparent as you work your way up through the industry. Here's my strong points to anybody. There's fear in everything that you do. But once you get a little taste of this, a little taste of that, a lot of that fear goes away because there's no unknown anymore. So the only thing you have to do then is challenge yourself. And once you get out of that box of challenging yourself, then you begin to see that there's no barriers that you can't conquer or challenge before you. So the fear factor at that particular time, starting your own business, where you're gonna get this money from to support your business, or how you're gonna go out and market your business, and how you're gonna bring in revenue, all of that, it's gone at that time. You just have to go ahead and challenge you every day to do what you do best. And once you get to that frame of mind that you need to challenge yourself each and every day, then you'll see that that's the key right there. If you're challenging yourself every day, going out doing what you need to do, no matter what nobody else says, no matter what nobody else thinks, all those negativities, they're gonna be there. But if you do what you're supposed to do, then that fear factor will quickly go away for you. You have to have some priorities where you want to focus your your greatest need and where you want to focus that the people that love you and the people that you love. When my mom got sick and my business was really starting to, grow at that particular time. And my responsibilities were more. And also that being able to have that flexibility when the time called for, because you never know when the time was going to call for. It could be a late call in the middle of the night, and you had to change your schedule for that next day to take care of that responsibility. I always tell people that was my greatest reward because I could be here at that time and be of help to my family. So the challenge is always as to, in your mindset, being there for family, also being able to juggle your schedule when need be, and also, taking the good with the bad, It's not going to always be rosy every day, There's going to be some challenges out there that, are going to push you to the limit sometimes. But you always got to have that instinct and that compassion in your heart to never give up, Being a person that has grew up in this community, I watched my mom and dad work in this community, and I watched countless other people that have grown up in this community that have a lot to offer in this community. The issue is that we should have more opportunities so that we can show our younger population that, hey, you can make it here if you're given the opportunity, okay? We find that a lot of our younger generation, they'll stay here for a while and they'll move to other places because there's less of opportunities for them to grow or either have a part in being an entrepreneur in this community because the opportunities are far and few between. The most difficult part is letting people like myself sticking it out, showing that we can make it here if given some opportunities, and then taking the opportunities as they come to grow your business and then spread that out throughout the community. That's how we grow our communities. When I was a little boy, I used to walk to school and go to school at Rochelle Elementary. And up Martin Luther King, there were thriving minority businesses all up Martin Luther King during those years. Black people had businesses. We had black cleaners. We had black barbershops. We had black grocery stores. We had black 5 and 10 cent stores, which a gentleman by the name of Mr. Pickett, he's stable in our community. He owned a 5 and 10 cent candy store or whatever. And I used to go to that store every day and buy cookies and candies. And one day, I remember this as a little boy, I said, one day, I really would like to own something like this, And I always stuck in my heart, there was always compassion to go back to something like that and build something like that. And in our community, back then, that was basically right here in our community. It wasn't outside the avenues of where we lived at, because back then segregation was segregation. That's what it was. So that gave me a sense of pride to actually give me a purpose in life, to build something that I saw before me even happen. And that's what we need to try to trickle down to our younger generation. That, hey, it's hard, it's tough, but hey, if you plant your feet and have a passion for something and you love doing what you do, go for it. Nothing can stop you.
Whether working with your hands or spending countless hours calculating mathematic equations, building a small business takes time to develop. As an immigrant to the United States, Julio Orbegoso is no stranger to the idea of patience. Many years and countless experiences have helped him develop a highly successful engineering company.
Yes, I graduated in Miami in 1976, graduated from Florida International University, FIU. Got the opportunity to work as a junior engineering in Cocoa Beach. The company that hired me is BRP&H. It's a big company now. And we did a lot of work for the NASA. So I passed to work for the NASA. And in 1980, January 1980, I came to Lakeland and worked for the company David McKee, doing the design for the phosphate. So it mainly was in the industrial. Previously, in company like Ebria Report and Hauser. I did work in the NASA in a lot of work related to the industrial, similar to industrial, government jobs, and also institutional, hospital, apartments, a variety of those companies. Being in Lakeland, we enjoy living in Lakeland. I had my family here, and since then I did not move from Lakeland. And I was a private consultant for companies like David Mensel. I work in Orlando also as a consultant for Berryman and Partner. In Tampa, at that time, that company named Badger Engineering, and passed to work as in a contract basis with Disney World and in Lake Buena Vista. I passed there for 4 years, and I came to work for Jacobs. It was good being a local company, but after working with Jacobs, I decided to do my own business. Since I did not move from Central Florida, I was well known by contractors, architects, and they start giving me more consultant work to me. So we start from there and created ORB Engineering in 2001 approximately, and ORB Engineering, which is standing for the first 3 letters of my last name. Orbegoso is too long to remember, so I think ORB is real short. My asset that I acquired there is to be with different level of experience, surrendered by engineering with different level of experience, and the quality control, what they call it QC, that each project has. So the job was big, that was assigned to 4 or 5 engineering, and we were able to check our work for the others engineering, and therefore it came out just a perfect job with minimum question from the field. All the experience that I have in David McKee, in the NASA, Disney, Jacobs, and other consultants serve me to approach different projects and to be more able to work with different type of architects. Architects that are concentrated in the health, hospitals, assisted living facility, different type than architects that do churches and schools, so the different approach. And I was acquiring all those knowledge to form my own system. I always was in the production. Since I work by myself, and with the help of the AutoCAD person, which is come out the technology next to my experience doing by hand, he combined this with the young engineering and young support that I have in the drafting in AutoCAD. It was easy to control when I was by my own, because I have only 1 employee, we say part-time employee as I needed, and to do the administration, it was very easy to do that. I did not realize how much administration need a company until the company grew up. Taxes, licenses, registrations, then I get lost of that because my experience is in design, in calculation. So we hire people to take care the part of the administration. Is the part that I think every company needed. And right now we've come with Emily Almonte. She come to us and helping us very, very much to to feel relief and keep doing what I like to do, design engineering, control of the production, and some presentations also. I'm very happy with the people that we have in the staff. They show the professionalism. I never wanted to watch it, what they are doing, never to check it. They are ahead of time, and that made me happy that they are professional doing their work. The pride that everybody taking for their work that they do it. And I think it shows when we have at the end of the year, we're doing well, the company is reflected in everybody. So it's a big asset when you have a professional people know by title, by the work that they do it, the way that they handle their job. That is a relief for me. I think it's a headache 24/7 if you don't come with that. So, but we are able to have a happy staff. They getting along good. It's very important to me that, and as a person also. So if it's a good person, good background, it's easy to be a good professional. It's the experience and the confidence to create a solution to the client's problems. That's coming with experience. And of course, it's very important that you like what you're doing. Otherwise, it will be a work. But a work, what we call a work, and doing every day what you like, to me is not a work. So number one is do what you like to do it. And the rest is coming easy and count with people who can show the professionalism doing their work. Everything can be learning. Now there are, compared to my early times, then everything was doing by hand. Now the computer is a big help. There are programs, there are a lot of sources, information just sitting in your desk. So the way to go out, do the marketing is reducing. So it's another way to do it. In other words, is to adjust to the time. So I don't pretend to do my business how I was doing 20 years ago. So we need to follow the flow. The people is very important. Then also like it or enjoying what they are doing. I think that's part of the life of everyone. But unfortunately, some people, especially immigrants, they come, and I'm an immigrant also, coming 47 years ago. Here is the opportunity to fulfill your dream. So it is a lot of opportunity here for all of them. Yes, your dream can come true here with dedication and work.
That's all for this episode of Polk Entrepreneur. We'd like to thank Darrell Chapper and Julio Orbegoso for sharing with us what it takes to become an entrepreneur in Polk County. If you have a dream of starting your own business, there are many resources and opportunities to help you get started. Contact the Polk County Community and Small Business Assistance Center today at 1-800-780-5346 or polk-county.net to start making your dream a reality. Thanks for watching Polk Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Stephen Barnes. I'll see you next time.